Dennis Rader's story begins in the quiet town of Wichita, Kansas, where he was born on March 9, 1945. From the beginning, his life seemed unremarkable. He grew up in a modest household with strict parents who emphasized obedience and discipline. From a young age, he exhibited behaviors that set him apart from other children. He was quiet, introverted, and deeply observant, paying close attention to the people and events around him. While other children played freely, Rader preferred to stay on the sidelines, studying patterns and behaviors with an intensity that few noticed. As a teenager, Rader faced challenges that seemed ordinary but had profound impacts on his developing personality. He struggled to connect with his peers and often felt isolated. At the same time, he developed a fascination with power and control, a desire to influence and dominate situations around him. These tendencies went largely unnoticed by those around him, as he was careful to hide them under the mask of a well-behaved, obedient son. After high school, Rader attended college and later joined the military, serving as a communications officer in the U.S. Air Force. He was seen as disciplined, reliable, and professional. His ability to perform well in structured environments reinforced his outward appearance of normalcy. After his service, he returned to Wichita, married, and had children, presenting the image of a model family man. He became active in his church, eventually serving as president of his congregation council. To friends, neighbors, and colleagues, he was dependable, polite, and trustworthy. Yet beneath this carefully constructed exterior, a darker urge was growing. In 1974, Dennis Rader began a series of crimes that would terrorize Wichita for decades. Over the next 30 years, he murdered 10 people, choosing victims of different ages and backgrounds. His approach was chilling in its methodical planning. He stalked his victims, learned their routines, and waited patiently for the right opportunity to strike. His chosen method, bind, torture, kill, became his signature. He would restrain victims, often using cords or rope, inflict suffering, and then end their lives. The level of premeditation demonstrated his meticulous nature and his ability to compartmentalize his normal life from his violent urges. What made Rader particularly terrifying was his ability to blend seamlessly into society. He was a father, a husband, and a respected community member. Neighbors trusted him, colleagues admired him, and church members saw him as a devoted leader. This duality, the contrast between his ordinary public life and his hidden monstrous acts, fascinated criminologists and the public alike. Many wondered how someone could commit such horrors while maintaining such a convincing facade. Rader's obsession with control extended beyond the act of killing. He sought recognition for his crimes, sending letters to law enforcement and media outlets that described his actions in detail. The letters, which began in 1978, were carefully crafted to demonstrate his cleverness and superiority over the police. These communications often included details that only the killer could know, further terrifying the community and frustrating investigators. By sending these taunting messages, Rader created a psychological game, asserting dominance while hiding in plain sight. The BTK case remained unsolved for decades. Despite the number of victims, the police initially struggled to link the murders. Rader was careful, leaving minimal evidence at the crime scenes and varying his approach to avoid establishing patterns. Investigators sometimes believed there were multiple perpetrators because the killings occurred over such a long period, in different neighborhoods, and with different methods. The uncertainty added to the fear that gripped Wichita. Residents were unsure if the killer would strike again and where. Rader lived through these years appearing as a normal, productive member of society. He worked various jobs, volunteered at his church, and maintained the appearance of a family man. He carefully separated his public persona from his private compulsions, demonstrating a level of cunning that made him almost invisible to those around him. The city's fear of the unknown murderer persisted, while Rader himself thrived in the anonymity he had so meticulously crafted. After decades of silence, Rader made a critical mistake in 2004. He sent a floppy disk to the police, believing it could not be traced. However, forensic experts examined the disk and found metadata linking it directly to Rader's home computer. This breakthrough finally gave investigators the evidence they needed to identify him. Police obtained a search warrant, arrested him, and found further evidence connecting him to all 10 murders. The community was stunned. The man they had trusted, admired, and considered normal was the same person responsible for decades of terror. Rader's arrest and subsequent trial were dramatic and gripping. During court proceedings, he provided detailed confessions about how he stalked and killed his victims. He described the psychological satisfaction he derived from controlling his victims and the thrill of evading capture. The trial also revealed his interactions with law enforcement, his taunting letters, and the meticulous planning he used to commit his crimes. In 2005, Rader was sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, ensuring he would never be free to harm again. The story of Dennis Rader, the BTK Killer, serves as a chilling reminder of the hidden darkness that can exist behind seemingly ordinary lives. It demonstrates the extremes of human psychology, the importance of vigilance, and the advancements in forensic science that eventually brought him to justice. His crimes left a lasting impact on Wichita, changing how communities perceive safety, how law enforcement investigates serial crimes, and how society studies the minds of serial offenders. Even decades later, the story of the BTK Killer captivates audiences. True crime enthusiasts analyze his letters, his methods, and the duality of his life. Psychologists study how a man capable of immense cruelty could live undetected for so long in a community that trusted him implicitly. Law enforcement professionals continue to reference his case when training officers to recognize the subtle signs of dangerous behavior hidden beneath normalcy. As we reflect on the decades-long reign of terror caused by the BTK Killer, one haunting question remains: could someone living next door, appearing completely ordinary and trustworthy, really be hiding a darkness capable of unimaginable crimes?